Hi everyone and welcome to episode 15 of the Talk is Cheap show, our second show of 2020. Got a great show in store for you today, but it's customary to introduce the big homie.
You saying, bro?
Curtis, what are you saying, brother?
Yeah, a bit better, you know?
How's things?
Yeah, good, man.
Good?
Good start to the new year.
Tell the people what you've been up to, man.
Boy, just making videos on my channel, Curtis Shaw TV. Big up everyone supporting that. And obviously Arsenal unbeaten in 2020. The resurrection.
We're going to get there, man. But before I go any further with that, I just want us to do this. Yeah, man, no more jokes about
you got a full set of Nashers now,
See, the money's so good here, man. I'm able to go out and get the ring, get the grill, man.
Yeah.
So no more crackhead jokes.
They've been doing you dirty in the comments.
It's been a long time in coming, man. But
Yeah.
I finally got it sorted out.
Yeah.
So it feels I'm just getting used to it. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
But since the last show, I think it's only fair we should talk a little bit about the Blood Brothers thing, man. We mentioned it last week, but obviously now the show's come out in proper. What's your thoughts, man?
It was a long season, and I think we misjudged the final as a group collectively. I think some players weren't maybe prepared for it. But I think we're going to make changes. I think there'll be new players, bringing on some new staff on board, you know. Yeah, we're going to have to appoint some new people and we'll move forward. We're confident we'll bounce back, man. I think
somebody in the office said the other day, man, the Phoenix is about to rise from the ashes. Man. So watch this space for Blood Brothers Season 3 at a screen near you soon.
We'll be back next season, stronger than ever, man. No worries.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Just a brief recap on last week's show. First of all, thanks very much for all your messages. Really appreciate it. As you know, we're trying to keep the shows interactive as we possibly can. So when you message us and text us and all the rest of it, we're really happy about that. It's quite interesting for a number of reasons. We had a lot of responses to the show. Most of them were very positive, but we did get a few that were less than complimentary about me and you, man. Yeah. It seems that some of the people out there think that we've got an agenda against Ozil. So we just wanted to come on here, man, and give our disclaimer, put that to rest. Listen, there is no agenda against Mesut Ozil. I'm going to say this as well, yeah. Back in 2000, I think it was 2013 when we signed him. Trust me, there wasn't many people more gassed than I was at the signing of Mesut Ozil. At the time, it was a club record. I think it was 42.5 million.
Yeah.
And I was as excited as the next fan about Ozil coming. And he made a decent start. And, you know, we thought it's going to get better from there on in. But let's be honest, people, he has not come anywhere near the level of expectation that we thought he would. Did you think that's fair to say?
I think we had a few good years of Ozil, but I just think now he's way past his best. As you said, when we signed him, I was so excited for that signing. I think even if you're his biggest fan, you've got to watch the games now and realise he's not having enough of an effect on the game. You can pull out some stats that don't really have a major effect on the game to defend him. But the reality is, as a number 10, score goals, create goals. One assist, no goals. It's not enough. It's not. We're carrying.
Not by a long way, man.
We haven't got the midfield behind him to have him there.
Listen, one of the major criticisms of Arsenal this season and last season as well, actually, is that we're not getting enough goals and assists from midfield.
Yeah.
Now, Mesut Ozil is supposed to be our star player, our go-to man. He's the most expensive player in terms of wages at the club. And he's seen as one of the marquee players at the club. So when we judge him, we're judging him by those high standards. It's not being personal, it's not having an agenda. It's just we're trying to compare him with the benchmark, the likes of your De Bruyne's and people like that. So when we do that, we're seeing that there's a big chasm between what he's offering and what other guys are playing in similar positions offer. So, you know, I just want to say that it's not an agenda against one man. It's just that, you know, these lack of performances have been going on for some time now. And it's only right that we should draw it out. And another thing I would say as well, some of you come at me because you were saying that we didn't criticise Lacazette. We did criticise Lacazette. I actually went on record as saying, listen, I love the guy, Well, I don't love the guy, but I'm a fan of his, yeah? However, I acknowledge he's not scoring enough goals, nowhere near. No. So, you know, we made that point too, people. Again, you know.
The criticism of Ozil is almost a compliment because you expect so much from him because you've seen it in the past. To me, I don't think it's rocket science. I just think it's a player in his 30s. He's been a pro for probably 15 years. And I think his legs are going. I don't think he can keep up consistently with the demands of the Premier League. And the game's changed now. The top teams have got so much energy and power in midfield.
That's right.
And, you know,
it's an important area in the pitch.
That's it.
And we're not
I don't think he's
we're not getting enough performance.
No.
As simple as that.
No.
So anyway, people, that was a recap of last week's show. Once again, we do thank you for all your messages that you send in, but we thought it was only right that we come on and put that one to rest. Thank you very much. So to one of our regular features on the show is to look back at Arsenal's last game or games since we last had our show. Since the last show, we've had 2 games. The first game, Saturday the 18th of January, at home to Sheffield United. Curtis, you're our resident expert, man. Tell the people.
I mean, usually I go to Arsenal games so I don't have to do the chores around the house on a Saturday. I think I'd have been better off staying in and hoovering the house. That is 90 minutes of my life I will not get back. That was a terrible game.
I was at that game, man.
That was bad.
It was just... I think the only good thing about that game is that we had for once in a while, we had a 3 o'clock kickoff. Right?
Yeah, so you get home at a decent time.
Yeah, you can sort of wake up at a fairly decent time, watch a game and then get home again at a fairly decent time. But it was cold, it was miserable, and the performance on the pitch was less than stellar, to say the least.
I mean, I said in the interview after the game, we're starting games like Arteta's Arsenal and finishing like Emery's Arsenal, and that was... We just, in spells we were decent, but too many times we go 1-0 up and we don't get that second goal. We allow them back into the game. The defending was sloppy for the goal, and we looked like we
scored first, didn't we? I mean, listen, right from the outset, we said last week, didn't we, that this was not going to be an easy game.
No.
Because I do respect Sheffield United. I respect what Chris Wilder's doing there.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So we knew that they were going to set up well. We knew that we'd have trouble breaking them down. And we know that they can play a little bit on the break as well. So I knew it was going to be a difficult game. But obviously you go into it positive and, you know, you're hopeful that we're going to, at home, pull out the stops to put in a good performance. But it just, for whatever reason, it just didn't happen, man. No. Too many players were just... Not on their game that day, you know what I mean? And it was largely disappointing. I mean, we went 1-0 up, courtesy of Martinelli. But then we conceded with 7 minutes to go. And to me, it looked like we were hanging on a bit at the end, man.
It did. They look fitter and stronger than us, to be honest.
Yeah.
A real hard-working Championship side who've come up. And as I said last week, I think Wilder, along with Klopp, are one of the managers of the season.
Yeah.
I noticed a quite damning stat that Arsenal have scored 32 goals this year in the Premier League. Manchester City have scored 65, more than double. I mean, that is crazy. We talk about our defending, but our attack, apart from Aubameyang, is really not functioning as a whole. We're not scoring enough goals.
And the mood afterwards was, even though it was a 1-1 draw, the mood by the fan cams up by AFTV, a big crowd had turned out. And it was almost, it felt like a loss, didn't it, to a lot of people?
Because these draws aren't good enough, are they? You know, we can't keep. We've drawn the most games in the Premier League this season. 12 draws. You think if we could have turned half of them into wins, we could potentially still be in the top 4 race. So it's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, a lot of people coming away from that game thinking, "Oh wow, you know what? I was glad when the whistle went." So you know what I mean? But hey, man.
But on the flip side, the next game,
the second game, last night, away to Chelsea. Well, take it away.
Do you know what? I had very little confidence before the game, but
gotta say,
I want to be positive because I thought the performance overall, collectively, was brilliant.
Yeah.
To go to Chelsea, go down to 10 men in the first half, and fight back twice from a goal behind.
I mean, let's just talk about that sending off briefly because it was in the 26th minute, wasn't it? And I wasn't at the game, but I was watching. I watched it on TV and. First of all, that mistake by Mustafi, that was an horrendous error, man.
He could have cleared it.
He could have cleared it. He had time to clear it.
Yeah.
He could have kicked it harder if that's what he wanted to do, go back to the goalkeeper. He could have squared it. He had enough time. He wasn't really under that much pressure.
No.
And he's done that. And then, I don't know, but to me, David Luiz, I felt a little bit sorry for him. But he's got to take his fair share of responsibility. He did not need to bring the guy down because
maybe not. No.
Mustafi had actually started the run back. He was. Who's to say that Tammy Abraham was going to score from that angle?
I think
you've got to trust yourself. You've got to stand up, make yourself big if you're David Luiz here, and just trust the elements. You don't know
what's going to
number one, if Tammy Abraham's going to score. Number two, if we do go a goal down, it's after 26 minutes, bro.
Do you know what I think?
Another 65, 70 minutes to get back in the game.
Do you know what? I'll be honest.
Get yourself sent off.
I think number one, Mustafi's completely at fault. He should have cleared the ball in the first place, and this is the reason he shouldn't be at the club anymore. To be fair, to his credit, he played well after.
Yeah, you know what? We got to shout out Mustafi, man, because his head could have totally dropped.
He could have totally gone,
but he didn't.
But the mistake shouldn't have happened in the first place. In terms of Luiz, I think because he's recovering, he's trying to catch Abraham up. I think it's difficult to stand up. I think he's probably backing himself that I can make contact with the ball. I get your point, but
don't you think that guy with his experience though should have just tried to stand up strong and just pressure Tammy Abraham and hopefully make him to snatch at the shot, or he may even have blocked it.
Maybe.
But to start grabbing on the guy's shirt so early. Once you do that, you know straight away Abraham's just going to go to the floor. Because it wasn't a particularly hard tug, was it?
No.
But once you've done that, he's got to know with his experience that the minute you do that, you're just inviting him.
Was the foul for the pull, or was it went? Because I thought he slid, didn't he? And
he did a little bit of both.
A bit of both,
but he started it with the tug. Once you do that, man, you know what I mean? You know what's happening next.
Yeah, do you know what? I feel a bit sorry for Luiz in that circumstance. He's trying to recover a mistake from his teammate, and I put the blame on Mustafi. I'm not really going to blame Luiz if I'm honest. I think he just tried to clean up the mess and he made it worse. But wasn't
so they get the penalty.
Yeah.
They go 1-0 up.
Yeah.
And we're all fearing the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, my mind kind of went back to, I think it was 2015.
Yeah.
When another Brazilian defender we had, he got sent off. Costa wound him up. He got sent off when we went on to lose that game. I think it was 2-0. But on the day it could have been 4 or 5. We were totally under it. So I was actually fearing the worst, man, but I've got to say that the lads really dug in, didn't they? They rallied, man, big time.
Do you know what? I wrote down 4 players, right, who I want to single out. I thought Hector Bellerin.
Yeah, man, Bellerin.
And the fact you was complimenting him, I thought, wow, Hector must have... I mean, what a performance.
Listen, this is what I was saying earlier, man. I don't have no agendas against anyone in the club.
Why would you? You support
Absolutely,
the club?
I don't know these guys. I don't even really want to know them.
Yeah.
I don't really want to know. Listen, man, I'm a massive boxing fan, and I remember years ago, I went to Las Vegas, and I was a massive Floyd Mayweather fan. And I met Floyd Mayweather in person, spent a little time around him. And I have to say, I was really disappointed. And because of that reason, even before then, I was like that, but even more since then, I don't really go in for hero worship.
No. There's no point.
Sportsmen, because they're good at this sport. Doesn't mean to say they're good people. So I've got no axe to grind, man.
Yeah.
So Bellerin played well.
I had Saka at left back, I thought. Because I thought Hudson-Odoi was their most dangerous player, and I thought Saka did really well against him. And even getting forward.
Absolutely.
His partnership with the other guy, Martinelli, who I thought, I've spoke about this guy a few times. I think he's such a big talent. If we nurture this guy in the right way, it reminds me of like a young Luis Suarez or Sanchez, that South American low centre of gravity. His goal was amazing. Seeing Kante, with his face on the floor.
That kind of put me in mind of the sort of Gerard Demba bar slip, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And my man just went past him, man, boom.
And the other one, I mean, people talk about agendas. I'm talking about Granit Xhaka.
Yeah, you know what?
I thought he was superb in defence. Could he actually be a better centre back than centre midfielder?
Wow.
And that's, because he hasn't got to run around as much. I thought he was brilliant. But the whole team... they all deserve credit, and I think they restored the pride of of the club with that performance, and it seemed like a reflection of Arteta, to be honest. They were all playing.
It was really pleasing to see.
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, we're going to touch on that a bit later, but that was great to see.
What did you think of it?
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, we got the goal, like you said, the breakaway goal in the 63rd minute, courtesy of Martinelli, who was outstanding, like you say. Yeah. And you know what? I was thinking at one time might go on and win this.
Yeah, man, on the counter.
I mean, okay, I know we only had a couple of shots on goal in the whole game. In fact, I think we had 2 shots and 2 goals, but we had quite a bit of possession at one point. Yeah. You could see Lampard, couldn't you, on the touchline? He was really getting frustrated. I was like, you know what?
Could nick it.
We could nick this, you know what I mean? And then our hopes got dashed in the 85th minute. Azpilicueta scored that goal.
Sticking his tongue out.
Yeah, I mean, what was that about, man?
Did it? He's a bit of an arrogant guy, isn't he?
Yeah,
I think.
What's that about? But anyway, so he done that, and I'm thinking, you know what? 2-1. I said, in the wider scheme of things,
it's not a bad performance.
It's not the performance was good. So I'm thinking, even though it looks like we're going to go down 2-1, but you know what? You can't really complain because these guys have given everything. You know, everybody on the pitch. Well,
most of them on the pitch.
No. To be fair, everyone gave their all.
Yeah, they all.
So I'm thinking, you know what? Even though it looks like we're going to lose, this is a creditable performance. Yeah. And then fair play to Bellerin, man. 2 minutes after Azpilicueta, Bellerin goes on that run, and in the past he's been accused of having no end product. And you could see he looked like he was going to cross it, didn't he? Yeah. And then he cut back on his left foot and precision strike.
Great finish. Bottom corner. I was shocked by it.
Yeah, I was shocked. He looked a bit shocked.
Yeah, he was like, I can't believe I've scored.
You know what I mean? Well, no, man. I mean, listen, man. I was jumping out of my seat, jumping up and down. It was great. And then we held on, man.
Yeah, well deserved. Deserved.
And that, unlike the Sheffield United game where we got a draw that felt like a loss. Yeah. This 2-2 felt like a win. Yeah. And I would imagine the fan cams after. Well, I saw the fan cams after the game, and they were very upbeat. Yeah. And it just goes to show that you can have a draw. And 2 types of draw, innit? Yeah, you can have a draw where you think, oh, this felt like a loss. Yeah. Then you can have a draw that feels like a win. Yeah. So, yeah, man.
Proud performance.
Great performance. Yeah. Well done to the guys. So, for our main topic this week, I was thinking, was the Chelsea game the night we got our Arsenal back? Curtis?
I think that's a little premature. I think we're still a long way from having our Arsenal back, but I think Arteta's putting the building blocks in place. He walked into a mess, a team that wasn't good enough, and he's got a big job. It's a long-term project. It's not short-term. It's not going to turn around quick. I've seen a lot of encouragement from him, the style of football. I felt under Emery in 2 seasons I didn't see any style of football. He relied on individual brilliance to win games. I think Arteta's restored the hard work. Every player I feel is giving everything. Whether that's good enough or not is different, but they're working. He looks like he's got an understanding. He looks like he's coaching the players. So I think we're on the road to getting our Arsenal back. But I think, as I've said a few times, it's going to take investment from Silent Stan, who doesn't seem to doesn't want to talk, doesn't want to turn up at the games. You know, we're too far.
What about his son? I thought his son was coming to.
Well, he pops to the training ground a little bit, then gets off. You know, told us to be excited. We ain't had much to be excited about. So not really. They need to back him. He needs new players. But maybe they're gonna wait until the summer for real investment. But for now.
But you know what? Last night I was watching that game, and I must say that at the end of the game, I felt for the first time in a long, long time I felt some genuine excitement about the team or what Arteta's trying to do, and I actually made a few notes. There's definitely a number of reasons to be cheerful, and I'll just tell you what I thought when I was watching the game last night. First up, the young players. I think if this club is going to go forward, especially at a time when it would appear that the board are not over-infused with getting their wallets out, then the young players are going to be the staple of the club. And the young players, by and large, have excelled themselves this season. And there's 2 in particular, Martinelli and Sacco, both only 18 years old. Brilliant. But those 2 have been outstanding.
Yeah, man. Really good.
Martinelli, he's been amazing, man. I mean, it wasn't that long ago in the show. Well, we talk about it quite regularly on the show, actually, is about where are the goals going to come from if Aubameyang's not playing. I think we've even said things in the past like, if we didn't have Aubameyang,
where would we be?
In the relegation zone? Well, you never know, man. We may have unearthed a player here that shows that there is life after Aubameyang after all.
I think we've definitely found a gem here, to be honest.
So, we need to
hang on to him at all
keep this
costs.
guy in cotton wool, man, and really nurture him, because I think he's the future. Same with Sakho, man. I mean, you know what impressed me about Sakho? The fact that he's not even playing in his
natural position.
The thing is, he could performances like that.
He could end up being a left back.
Yeah.
I think someone was saying Ashley Cole wasn't a natural left back.
Yeah, apparently he was a winger
and ended up going. And Saka, to me, the way he handled Hudson-Odoi, who I think he's a brilliant upcoming winger, he could be a left back.
And he seems to have the right mentality.
Yeah.
Both those two guys have got the right mentality,
I agree.
haven't they?
They're above their age. They play with a maturity and an aggression.
Yeah, man. Brilliant. And then there's those two, but then there's also the likes of Guendouzi, who had a good game yesterday. And he's, he has spells where he's a bit in and out, but overall he's been positive, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been positive. Yeah.
Maitland-Niles, Willock, Reece Nelson, all those guys, man.
Yeah,
there's a nucleus of young players at the club that are talented. They seem to have the right attitude, and if you get somebody like Arteta, who's good at working with younger players, I think that's something for the future.
Definitely.
Similar to what you touched on earlier, the team spirit, it seems to have increased markedly since Arteta's come into the club.
And a number of the players have said in interviews that since Arteta's come in, they believe in the system.
Yeah, you can see that, man. It's tangible.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you can see that it's manifesting in the way we're playing. I mean, like you said, we're still a long way from the finished article, long way. However, you can see there that there are definite signs of improvement 100%. There. One thing I've been impressed with Arteta as well is that the players that were, and this goes with the team spirit thing I was talking about, players that were previously seemingly out in the cold under the old regime or the previous regime, i.e. Granit Xhaka is the main example.
Yeah.
And even Ozil as well, even though, we've said what we said about Ozil and we're not taking that back, but at least his attitude is right now. Yeah. Whereas before, Ozil's attitude has come under question several times. At least he's trying to put in a shift. He's trying. Okay, it's not coming off, but he's trying.
Yeah, definitely.
And Mustafi as well. He's another one that a lot of people thought might be on their way. Yeah. On his way, sorry.
Although I don't think people would have been disappointed if he was. But as you said about
but you know what I'm saying about the fact that these guys, Xhaka, Ozil and Mustafi, they look odds on to be heading out, didn't they? The minute Arteta rocked up.
He's brought them all back together.
He's brought them back in the fold. I don't know what he said to them, but it seems to be working insofar as they're
Xhaka might have played himself back into being at the club long term.
Yeah.
I think Arteta keeps praising him.
Yeah.
So, you can't fault the effort.
And last night I saw some real pride in the shirt, and I mean proper pride in the shirt, not just kissing the badge when you've scored when everything's going well. Guys were grafting. It was a fighting performance.
Celebrations as well. They were together.
Yeah. And that has led to a certain harmony that's running through the club now. You can see it in the players, isn't it? The way they're celebrating, the way... I saw a couple of times yesterday when there was a couple of last-ditch tackles going in from the defenders, and to a man they were there high-fiving each other and hugging them, and I thought that is really good to see. Again, I didn't really see too much of that previously.
No.
So, I'm seeing that and I'm liking that.
We're moving in the right direction. Even when Ozil was substituted, I think under Emery he would walk off slow. He kind of have a salt, take the gloves off. He's coming off. Him and Arteta are embracing. It's like they understand it. And I think even when Bellerin scored, someone said Ozil was celebrating. So they all seem to be fighting for the cause. So I got nothing.
On that note as well, that was similar with Lacazette at Sheffield United, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because you could see when his number came up, I think he just hit the post, the bar, and with a free kick.
Oh, just over,
against Sheffield United, and shortly after that, his number come up, and we all know the man's dying for a goal, and he looked really disappointed. But he looked like he was just about to get in his feelings, And then he thought, no, you know what?
And I think Louise, came over to him and just said something to him.
Yeah, and next thing you know, he's there clapping the crowd. And
even if, I don't know if you saw her on TV, when Louise had been sent off, they showed him sitting in that room.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
And he was animated, like, come on. You would not think he was an ex-Chelsea player. He looks like, I'm really embracing what this club's about.
So the upshot of it is, people, is that the players are buying in. Whatever Arteta's his premises, they're obviously buying into that, and it's good to see.
Very good. They're connecting with the fans as well, which seems a lot better.
But let's not get carried away. Me and Curtis, we like to say this. It's still only 2 wins in our last 15, 16 games. Yeah, and of the 7 games he's had since he's been in charge, he's only won 2, hasn't he? Yeah. Man United in the Premier League, Leeds in the FA Cup. We've drawn 4, so we're becoming a draw specialist. Yeah. But we've only lost to 1, and that was to Chelsea. And a lot of people felt that
we should have got something.
Out of that game. So the signs are positive, people. Yeah. I'm going to leave the last word with you. What are you saying, man? You think that last night was the night we got our Arsenal back?
I think we're on the road.
Did you stop short of that?
I think we're on the road to getting our Arsenal back. There's a long way to go, but it's a long-term project. I think we've got to be patient with him, and I think let's all keep supporting him. Yeah, move the club in the right direction.
But I'm going to disagree with you slightly now. And I'm going to say that I was so encouraged by what I saw last night that whilst I agree with you that we shouldn't get too carried away, I'm going to say to you that we may look back in 3, 4, 5 months' time, and what we saw last night would have been the catalyst for better things.
I hope you're right.
I genuinely, because it's such a long time since I've seen a fighting performance like that. So we got a man sent off after 26 minutes. We go a goal down a minute later via the penalty. We come back into it, 63rd. We go goal down again in the, I think it was the 85th minute, and then we come back 2 minutes after. Yeah. That shows some guts, man. That shows some heart.
No, I don't mind being wrong.
I'd love to see that. So I'm saying to you guys, I'm saying that this could be the day where we're saying, yeah, man,
we're on our way back.
We're on our way back.
I hope so.
Let's hope I'm right. So for our Ops of the Week, Curtis, following on from the heroics against Chelsea, we've got another game coming up. It's on Monday. Monday, FA Cup against Bournemouth away. Yeah. I think this is quite an important game, actually.
Yeah, it is.
It's an FA Cup game. You know what? It's not the Premier League. It's the FA Cup, and I know some people frown on the FA Cup. I don't. I'm old school. I like the FA Cup. I regard it as a major trophy. Let's face it, this is a very winnable game. And also, we want to keep the momentum going. The vibes are good right now around the place. We want to keep that going so that when we play our next Premier League game, which is against Burnley the week after, we got some momentum going into that game as well. Not only that, it's a game for some of the younger players to make their mark, to try and establish themselves in the team, or to some of the others try and make a play for the first team. Gives a chance for some of the peripheral members to come into the team, see what they can do.
Yeah.
I would also be tempted to play someone like Lacazette in this game, man, because he needs a goal. Yeah, I mean, I know he's been performing physical heroics in terms of the effort and the work rate, and then putting himself about holding the ball up, but he desperately needs a goal. Yeah. This is the kind of game that he might earmark and say, look, you know what, I want to play. Yeah. I want to get a goal.
I mean, this was Arteta's first Premier League game, wasn't it, Bournemouth away? Yeah. And I felt like we should have won that game.
We should have won that game.
It is an important game. On top of that, you don't want to get a replay because our squad's stretched at the moment.
Yeah, it is.
Got a lot of injuries and suspensions. I think Lacazette will have to play, to be honest. Aubameyang's still suspended.
Do you think Martinelli will play? Because he's only 18, he's full of beans.
He'll probably play him on the left again, I would imagine. The likes of Willock could probably get a game, Guendouzi, those type of guys. Maybe the goalkeeper will change.
I'd like to see a fairly strong team, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he'll have to.
I think we need to at least have a decent FA Cup run. I must admit, I'd be disappointed if we went out. Especially to Bournemouth. No disrespect, but they're not playing well.
No, they're not.
Let's pull up some Bournemouth receipts. Yeah. They're currently 80th in the table, which means they're bottom 3. Their last game, they beat Brighton, but before that, they were in a terrible run of form. Although, incidentally, they did draw with us a few weeks back, so we owed them one. But in their last 6 games, they've had 2 wins. One was the latest game they had against Brighton, and one was an FA Cup win against Luton. But other than that, they've had 4 losses, man.
They're there for
Norwich,
the taking.
Watford, West Ham and Brighton. So
it'll be interesting to see how Arteta prioritises this trophy. Like you said, it'd be nice for us to win it. So I don't mind. Do you know, I think we'll win this.
Yeah, I'm confident.
I think we'll win.
Yeah, I'm confident
I'll
we can
go
get
2-1.
Because let's face it, Bournemouth have got big problems there.
So they might have to rotate as well.
They'll have to rotate.
They need to stay up more than having a good goal.
Yeah, and their strength of squad is not going to be that great. So
I'll go
expect them to make some changes.
2-1 to Arsenal. I think Lacazette will score as well.
Yeah.
He's got to score eventually, hasn't he, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, 2-1, 2-0. I think we win by a couple of... Actually, I said 2-1, by a couple of goals. 3-1, 2-0, a couple of goals. I'm confident. Maybe I'm riding high from the Chelsea game, but yeah, man, I fancy us to get a win. And I think if we can get a win, I think that will stand us in good stead.
And then Aubameyang will be coming back as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so there you go, people. We're predicting a FA Cup 4th round win. Well, people, that's it for this week's show, our 3rd show of 2020. Hope you enjoyed the show. As I was saying earlier, we want the show to be as interactive as possible. So please, please, please keep messages. Let us know what you think about what we said. Do you believe, as I do, that the Chelsea game could be a catalyst for big things in the future? If you think I'm maybe going ahead of myself a little bit, by all means, let me know as well. Anything we spoke about on the show today, please let me know what you think. And for Curtis, it leaves me to say, respect my man. Tell the people what you
check out the channel, Curtis Shaw TV. Keep supporting, chasing that 10k by the end of the season. And that's it.
Thank you very much. See you next week.